Hi, welcome to Sew with Christine. Here is a detailed tutorial on how to make a shawl lapel jacket. So this is a fast and an easy approach that I'll be showing to you guys whether you have or have not tried out a jacket before. Kindly subscribe, like and share this video. I will start by drafting out the back pattern. So from the upper parts of this paper, I'm going to mark down all of the horizontal lines measurements. For the back, what you need is the chest line, the waistline, and the hemline. After marking this, I'm going to roll these lines. Next, I'm going to take the shoulder measurements. This is 14 divided by 2, so I'm marking down 7 inches there. Then from that point 7 inches, I'll come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope. From the 1 inch, I'm going to mark down the armhole depth line. You can get this by dividing your bust circumference by 6, then add 1 inch to it. If you want more ease, you add 1.5 inches to it. I'm going to measure this line from the tip of this paper down, and I'm going to take the same measurement on the end of this paper. Then I would roll. This line is the chest line. Next, I'm going to take the neck width measurement, which is 2.75. Then I'll come down by 1 inch for the neck depth. I will connect the shoulder slope to the neckline. To draw the armhole curve, I'm going to get the midpoint of the armhole depth line. I'll fold my tape this way and I will mark the midpoint. From this midpoint, I'll go inward by 0.5 inches. For the back, we'll be using 0.5 inches. On the chest line, I'll take down the quarter bust circumference and I'll connect this way. Coming to the shoulder slope, I want to go up by 0.5 inch and I want to go out by 0.5 inch. I'll be going up by 0.5 inch because of the shoulder part that I'll be using, and I want to go out by 0.5 inch so that it will have a pointy effect. So now I've gone up by 0.5 and I've also gone out by 0.5 inch. So I will go ahead and redraw this line. That is the new shoulder line. Then this is how I'm going to draw the armhole curve. After drafting the armhole curve, I'm going to take the quarter waist measurements here. I'm going to add 2 inches to the waist measurements. At the center back, I will use up 1 inch, then I will use up the remaining 1 inch for the dart intake. So if the waist measurement is 8.5 inches, you add 2 inches to it, that gives 10.5 inches. I'll mark down the quarter hip circumference, then use my curve ruler to connect this to the waistline. Then go ahead to use my straight ruler to connect the waistline to the chest line. Next, I'm going to mark down the bust span measurements, which is 4 inches. I'll mark this and use my straight ruler to draw a straight line connecting all these points together. Then on the waistline here at the center back, I'll go inward by 1 inch. Then I'll use my ruler to connect this. On the waistline, I'm going to come up by 2 inches. You can remove these 2 inches when taking down your horizontal measurements. This is the 2 inches that I'll be using up for the bust dart. So if the front waistline is 18 inches and you want to make use of 2 inches for the bust dart, then the back waistline should be 16 inches. So that is what I have just closed up. I'm going to redraw these lines. On the bust span line, I'm going to draft out the darts by taking 0.5 inch on both sides. Then I'm going to connect the dart legs this way. On the shoulder line, I'm going to divide this by 2. I'm going to get the midpoint of this shoulder line. From the midpoint that I've just marked, I will use a straight line to connect that point to the dart leg. Next, I'll be drafting the front pattern. I'll start by marking down 3 inches from the top of this paper to the bottom. After marking down 3 inches, I'll go ahead and draw a straight line connecting all the points. Next, I'm going to take the length of this jacket. I'll be measuring from the bottom. The length is 28 inches. And I ensure that I have extra paper after the 28 inches because I will need excess at the top. So you see what I'm talking about. So this is the center front. The excess at the top should be about 4 to 5 inches. I'm going to mark down the bust point measurement, which is 10 inches, the waist measurement, which is 18 inches, and the length of this jacket, which I've already taken. I'll do the same here so I can get a straight line. This line is the bust point line. The next line is the waistline. And this is the blouse length or the jacket length. From the center front, I'm going to take down the shoulder measurement, which is 7 inches. From this point, I'll come down by 1.5 inches for the shoulder slope. Then from that 1.5 inches, I'll go down by the armhole depth. I'll take the measurement from that line to the armhole depth point and mark the same thing on this line. Then I'm going to connect this point. This is the chest line. On this line, I'm going to take down the neck width measurement 2.75. Then I'll come down by 3 inches for the neck depth. And I'll use my curve ruler to connect the 2 points together. I'll use a straight ruler to connect the shoulder slope points to the neckline. Then on the chest line, I'll take down the quarter bust circumference. I'll use my straight ruler to draw the armhole depth line. Then, like what I did for the back shoulder, I'm going to come up here by ½ inch and go out from this point by ½ inch. So this is me marking 0.5 upward. And I'm going to come out here by 0.5 inch. After marking down this point, I will redraw the lines. Before that, I'm going to get the midpoint of the armhole depth line. I'll fold this tape into 2 to get the midpoint. After marking down the midpoint, I will go inward from that midpoint by 0.75. Then I'll take down the quarter bust circumference on the chest line. So this is how I'm going to connect this. That's the armhole. I'll use my curve ruler to connect all those points together. I'm going to redraw this shoulder line. I'll connect from this shoulder slope point to the neckline. Then on the waistline here, I will take the quarter waist circumference. I will add 1 inch to the quarter waist circumference and mark that down. On this line, I will mark down the quarter hip circumference, then use my curve ruler to connect this. Once I connect this to the waistline, I will use my straight ruler to connect from the waistline to the chest line. I'll blend this place so that I don't have sharp edges there. I'm going to take down the bust span measurement, which is 4 inches. I'll mark down 4 inches from the chest line downward, then I would connect this point with my straight ruler. On the waistline, I'm going to draft the dart. I'll take 0.5 inch. As I'm going to be using up the 1 inch that I added to the quarter waist circumference. Then I'm going to connect the dart legs upward like this. After connecting upward, I'll connect downward as well. Coming to the side of these jackets, from the bust point line, I'm going to come down by 2 inches. Now, this is for the bust dart. I will connect this to the bust span. From the waistline, I will come up by 2.5 inches. You can come up by 2 inches or by 1.5 inches. After marking down 2.5 inches, I'm just going to roll a straight line. Then from this point, I will go out by 1.5. I'll mark 1.5 and then use my ruler to connect the points. After connecting all these points, I will also go to the hem line and mark 1.5 as well, then extend this line downward. This 1.5 inches is for the button stand for this jacket. Then from the base here, I'm just going to draw a curve that will connect the hem to this 1.5 inches. I'm going to connect this tip to the neckline. I'm going to use a straight line to connect these 2 points together. After connecting, I will divide from this point to the bust point line. I'll place my tape this way and I'm going to get the midpoint of this line. Now this is the midpoint. Given that this line that I have just divided is a slanted line, this is the ruler that I'm going to be using. So I place this on the midpoint mark, then I just drew a line outward. So I'm trying to measure this line. I want this line to be 2.75 inches. So this is the width of the lapel. Then on the shoulder here, I'm going to measure 2.5 inches. I've marked 2.75 on the bust point line. So from the button stand, I'm going to draw a curved line to connect from this part to the bust point. That's the area where I marked 2.75 on the bust point line. Then from the bust point line, I'm just going to use a straight line to connect to the area where I marked 2.5 inches on the shoulder line. Hope you understand. If you don't understand, you can ask questions in the comment section. Now I'm going to extend this neckline. That's the lapel line here. I'm going to extend it upward. Once I'm done extending, I'll bring in the back pattern. I'm going to measure the neckline. After measuring whatever I get there, I'm going to mark the results on the area that I have just extended on the front pattern. This extended line is where the back neck measurements will be marked, and that's what I'm doing here. So the result I got when I measured the back neckline is what I've just marked here. I'll be using this ruler to get a straight line. So from this point, I'm just going to draw a line outward. On this line, I'm going to mark 2.25 inches. On the area where I marked the back neckline measurement, I'm going to divide that into 3 equal parts. After dividing, I'm just going to roll straight lines. So if you're yet to subscribe, kindly hit the subscribe button, do like this video and share to your friends and families. If you do not want to miss out on amazing tutorials like what you are seeing, then turn your notification bell on. I've just introduced a new paper underneath this and I'm trying to trace out the lapel area only. After tracing out, I'm going to highlight the areas that I have traced. I'm going to roll in another line like 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch for like a seam allowance. So I'll be using this to join the lapel to the main jacket. Next, I'll open up these lines that I rolled. I'll open them up so that I can spread them onto a different paper. So this is the paper that I will be using. I'll place this slashed paper onto this new one and I'm going to leave 0.25 inch in between the slashed lines. I'm doing this to only the back area, that's the back neckline. This is to ensure that the lapel is well relaxed when the jacket is worn. Next, I will cut this off. I'm going to place this lapel over this pattern so you see what it looks like. Next, I'll get the midpoint of the shoulder line. After getting the midpoint, I'm going to mark that area down and use my straight ruler to connect that point to the dart line. Coming to the armhole, from this midpoint here, I'm going to mark 0.75 inch downward. Then I'm going to connect this to the bust point. After marking out the darts, I'm going to highlight this jacket. After highlighting, I'll go ahead and cut out this pattern. Next, I will be transferring all the darts. So I've opened up this armhole dart. I'll glue it down, then I'll open up the bust dart and also glue that down. After gluing, I'll go ahead and redraw the lines. So this is the front pattern. I'm going to bring the back one. I'll highlight this. After highlighting, I'm going to cut this. Once I'm done cutting, I would label this BACK. Next, I'm going to glue the lapel to the front pattern. So I'm gluing this front pattern onto that 0.5 inch that I added to the lapel when I highlighted it. Now this is it. I've gone ahead to label the front pattern and we have the lapel, very beautiful, and that is the back pattern. Kindly subscribe to my channel, like this video, and do not forget to share.